This video is filled with more than 50 tips, things you've probably never heard of in the Forge in Roblox. And if this sounds interesting to you, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button, become part of the first 300k OGs on the channel, and let's get into the video. So the first tip, the most important tip, is there are free rerolls in this game. If you want to be a demon like this or some other race, you need free rerolls, and there's ways to abuse this so that you can almost guarantee yourself a demon, an angel, etc. Head on over to the official Forge Discord server. And as everyone knows, there are codes in the game to give you free rerolls. The current usable code as of the making of this video is 400k exclamation mark to give you 8 rerolls. And you can obviously use these rerolls to help you try and acquire the demon or angel race. But there's something you can do that can help you drastically. If you're not married to your account, and what I mean by that is you're not like obsessed with your account, if you're willing to have alt accounts, you can just make an alt account and reroll on an alt account. And if you don't get a demon or an angel, you make another alt account and try again. This is a common practice. In many Roblox games, it has been that way for a long time. If that's something you're willing to do, it can help you on your way to acquire a demon or an angel and not have to spend Robux to do it. Also, on the official Discord server, don't forget to use the code PEAK exclamation mark this weekend for 10 more free rerolls. So if the 8 rerolls and these 10 rerolls are going to be here on the weekend, this weekend might be the best time to do alt accounts, to do free rerolls. It's 18 attempts per alt account, which now leads into my next tip, and that is the best races to play as. Obviously, an angel or a demon are among the best races in the game, but there are some other ones as well. Open up your menu and go to the shop, and then click on the go to race menu. This is obviously the demon, and the demon is great at combat. All of its stats are combat oriented, whereas the angel stats are all about going into the game and dashing around and having lots of luck. But the dwarf is also really good, and I advise you try and get one. They're really good at mining, which is fantastic, but they also have a better forge ability, helping you make better weapons and armor more successfully. After that, you can't go wrong grabbing a goblin. They do make things you buy cheaper in the game by 12 or 13%, which means you can get pickaxes much faster and progress quicker. So while the angel is basically better at mining than the dwarf, the demon is better at combat than something like the Dragonborn. So the Dragonborn is just a step down demon. It is still very good at combat with lots of great combat bonuses. Also, yeah, just try and get a Dragonborn. And while you're in that menu doing your rerolls, something you need to be very careful of, and this is my next tip, when you are doing in that menu and you're grabbing your race, you're switching your race, be careful not to reroll things by accident. When you are in here and you're swapping between your races, do not go anywhere near that reroll button on the bottom. Now, if you have a demon or if you have an angel, there will be a second prompt that says, are you sure you want to reroll? So those are relatively safe, but something like the dwarf doesn't get that prompt. I have accidentally rerolled off my dwarf once before, so do not make that mistake and be very careful in here. Now, my next tips have to do with World 1 and starting the game. First and foremost, do not skip the tutorial. If you skip the tutorial, you will literally be locked in World 1 for forever. The World 1 way out, the way to escape, is the portal you get, this portal right here, and you acquire this ability at the end of the tutorial. So without doing it, there's no way off the island, and you definitely want to escape this island as fast as you can, and that is my next tip. Don't spend too long here on Island 1. What you want to do is finish the tutorial, acquire 10,000 coins, and then get out of Dodge. Why 10,000 coins? Because as you're leveling up your pickaxes, and this is the next tip, you get the iron pickaxe through tutorial. After that, you can go ahead and grab the gold pickaxe, but skip the platinum. Grab the gold, mine yourself up to 10,000 coins, and then use those 10,000 coins to buy the next pickaxe in World 2, but we'll talk more about that later in the video. My next tip, and this is actually going to be really fun and really cool for you. There is a secret room in this game, and the secret room has a purpose, and you'll find out towards the end of this tip. The secret room is located here. That is the cave on the right. To the left of it is this white house. If you look right over here, this room right here, this is a fake wall. It's an illusion. you can actually get through there. Now, I'm pretty sure you can get through there as larger classes and larger races, but if you struggle, you can always try and get in there as a dwarf. Sometimes being short has its benefits. There we go. I just rolled in there, and now we go down, down, down to the depths of this cave, and in the bottom, you see these lucky blocks that look like Mario blocks in the Super Mario series. You can go ahead and mine these, and it does take some time, and my advice to you is to acquire 3 of the ores that they hold. The ores look like rubber ducks. I'm not kidding. But there's a purpose for this. Acquire 3 rubber duck ores from down here. Also, another quick tip, if you don't want to leave a place like deep in a cave or something like that, all you have to do is open up the menu, hit respawn, and in 5 seconds, you will actually teleport to the beginning of the world you're in. It's very useful. Once you have those 3 ducky ores, come over to the forge and craft yourself a ducky dagger. And then take your ducky dagger over here to the enhancer, and we'll talk about the enhancer tip after this as well. Bring your ducky dagger to the enhancer, and when you do so, you'll be able to enhance it by selecting something like the ducky dagger and clicking the enhance button. But you're going to notice something. The ducky dagger doesn't have a material requirement. These materials don't exist. There's nothing here, it's empty. And this craft chance doesn't matter, and you're gonna find out why. What you're gonna wanna do is enhance your ducky dagger 1,000 times or so. Each enhance attempt will only cost you about 1 or 2 coins. It's really cheap and very easy to do, and this is going to unlock a very great combat buff for you. If you go into your achievements tab here and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see the upgrade master, and the upgrade master, when you upgrade something 1,000 times, unlocks a 35% chance additional to grit. This will help you leveling up, fighting in the caves, fighting against goblins, etc. by critting 1/3 of the time in addition. It's a bonus, it's a buff, it's fantastic, it's powerful, and really easy to unlock. Now, speaking about achievements, there's actually a lot of achievements in there that are very useful for different purposes, but if you're not in combat, even if you're in combat, I think the one you're probably going to want to actually work towards unlocking the most is this one right here, dedicated player. You acquire it by just staying in the game. Hours played. It's a luck boost. And even right now, at almost 50 hours played, I'm at a 24% additional luck. Luck affects what you mine, and luck affects mob drops. This is super powerful. Luck is part of the reason why the angel is so strong in this game. The angel gives you 30% luck. That passive alone will give you 30% plus so long as you play long enough. So look through the achievements. Many of them are very useful buffs, and you can swap between them by simply equipping them or unequipping them. Watch, I can equip the upgrade master skill, or I can go back to the dedicated player skill. Now, there's a quest that can make you a bunch of money in the game. And the quest is also going to teach you about a very interesting mining mechanic that I don't know whether is intentional or a bug/exploit, and we'll see the developers decide whether this mechanic is okay. Let's talk about the quest though. To start the quest, you're gonna have to go to World 2. And this is a quest you're probably gonna want to do as soon as you're capable of coming to World 2. Because once you come here first, you take your 10,000 coins told you to save up, and you acquire the Cobalt Pickaxe. It's a fantastic pickaxe. Now, you get your pickaxe, it's time to make another 10,000 gold. Yes, another 10,000 gold. I'm not kidding. Come to the dock. See that island over there? Let's swim out to the island. Don't worry, there's only about 37 sharks in the water, and they love to nom your toes. I'm kidding, there's nothing in here, and you're never gonna drown. Come to the island, talk to this monkey guy right here, this monkey named Monk, and he gives you a quest to acquire 30 bananites. Bananas are found in World 1. You bring him the bananites, and you get 10,000 coins. It used to be 20,000. When I did it, it was 10,000. I might have been nerfed. But why is this important? Because I'm going to teach you a very useful mining skill that you're going to use from now until, well, past endgame. Let's go back to World 1 and I'll show you what's going on. Switch to the Angel so I can show you deep into the cave how to do the mining quickly and efficiently to help you acquire not only bananites for this particular quest, but any ore you need in the future at all. Come with me deep into the cave. Now, my pickaxe can one-shot the little pebbles. The pebbles, you don't need. You're not going to find bananite in the pebbles. You're going to need to find the bigger ore. You will find bananites in the rocks. They're labeled as rocks, but those aren't what you're actually looking for. What you're really looking for are the big rocks that take multiple swings. And here's why. Let me just one-shot the zombie. See this rock here? I hit it once. Oh no, I can actually one-shot the big rocks. This is a problem. I'm going to go and acquire a smaller pickaxe. Yep, nope, I can one-shot the rocks. Big problem. Really hard to show you stuff when I one-shot things. Let me just grab the gold platinum. I'm doing platinum for funsies. Now that I have the platinum pickaxe, let me hit this boulder until you get about halfway, a bit more. Boom, look at that. You don't need to finish the boulder. You've exposed the insides. There's no bananite in there. We're going to go on to the next boulder. And here's why you do this. Because if you leave the boulder there alone, 30 seconds later, the boulder's going to refresh. No bananite. We move on. Next boulder. The boulder will refresh. This is crazy. No bananite there either. And what happens is, as you do a loop and you hit these ore over and over, eventually you come back to your first ore, no bananite, you come back to your first ore and it's gonna be respawned. Oh, there's one there. Give this a little smack as this guy beats on me. Could you not, sir? I'm trying to mine and show him this video. No bananite there, continue on. Oh look, the first one I hit is already respawned. And this is the fastest and best way to farm up particular ores as you hunt for them. And this is applicable not just now in this quest for the bananite, but this is exceptionally useful later on in endgame. And let me demonstrate that for you. In late to endgame, you are hunting for specific ore in the most valuable vein in the game, which is the ember one, the lava rock. Let me just hop down here to the lava zone. This is the lava zone. Inside, our enemies have a one-shot you, but take a look. Right here are the lava rocks. Let me just fight this guy and get him out of the way. Now, the trick with these lava rocks is you mine them down to 2200 HP. You can go lower if you want, but you can see what's inside them around 2200 HP. And when you play this game for long enough, you know exactly what kind of ore you're looking for. And at 2200 HP, the ore is exposed on the inside. So 2300, the next hit should do it. Boom, and I don't need any of those ores. I will then leave this alone. And in 30 seconds, it will respawn. Ideally, you want to have two of these rocks, so you can swing back and forth between them, exposing what's inside until the ore you want shows up. That is an endgame tactic you can use to get bananites for the monkey quest, or endgame to get the specific rocks you're looking for. Next tip, I actually already demonstrated for you. This cannon will take you up to the cave, saving you from walking all the way around, because if you walk all the way around, it's a long way to do it. However, if you walk all the way around, you're not going to get a hidden quest. Let me show you a quest that I didn't know was here until much later. This guy, his name is Line. You talk to him, he wants specific ores. You turn in the ores, you get experience. So this Line guy who's shaking a bush, he has a hidden quest for you. Speaking about hidden quests, you see this pickaxe on my back? This is the best pickaxe in the game. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. If you want access to it, you actually need to acquire it in World 1. Let me show you how. Here in World 1, there is a guy with a quest. His name is Bard, and he wants his guitar. As you can see, I brought his guitar to him. Where is the guitar? Super easy. Come into the cave, right in the entrance, head down to the bottom where the other quest givers are, and look on your left. See this plant? See how it's coming through the wall? That's suspect. You can't do that. So wiggle your way through here until you drop down into this room. This undead skeleton, you can talk to him. There's nothing going on, but the guitar is sitting right here on the ledge. Bring it back to the Bard and he gives you a key. And the key will allow you to go and acquire the best pickaxe in the game. Let me show you where that is. Here we are, back at the entrance to the mine. Here are the quest givers. Hang on the right and go all the way towards the back. And when you get to the back, there is a gate right here in this archway. Click the lock since you have the key, unlock it, and boom, here is the arcane pickaxe. Now I mentioned you can become a goblin. If you are the goblin race, you can buy it for 110,000 instead of 125,000. And this pickaxe is the best in the game because it has base 50% luck, but 3 rune slots to shove even more luck or yield whatever you want in it. Now, when it comes to pickaxes, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a tip. Where am I? I'm lost. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a tip, and that is to not buy every single pickaxe during your progression. When you come into the game, you're going to be acquiring 2 pickaxes through the tutorial. You're getting the bronze and the iron. After the iron, I would say go ahead and grab the gold, skip the platinum, and then you can grab the cobalt in World 2. Let's go there now. Here in World 2, hang on the left and you can see the cobalt pickaxe. This is why I suggest 10,000 coins. After that, you have a couple of choices to make. Ultimately, you're aiming for the arcane pickaxe at 125,000 coins. You can skip some pickaxes to get there and just save up for it. What I did, I actually bought the titanium for 22,000 after I did the monkey quest. I had enough money and then I skipped the uranium, I skipped the mithril, I went all the way to arcane as fast as I could. But there's a benefit to getting the mithril. The mithril pickaxe will unlock vein ore faster. I'll show you what I mean. Let me go up to the top of the mountain and we'll go and take a look at the ores. If you don't buy the mithril and you wait until the arcane, The only ore you can mine is basalt rock. And after basalt rock, you can mine basalt core. But there's one other ore that you can't mine until you get at least that mithril pickaxe at 60,000 coins. And that is the #1 AFK farming spot in the game right here, basalt veins. You can only mine the vein if you have the mithril pickaxe and above. So you have a choice to make. You either stick with the cores and you mobs and you farm money that way until 125k to get this pickaxe, or you pay the money at 60,000, you acquire the mithril pickaxe, and then you can farm these 2 basalt veins that respawn over and over and over as the entrance to make a lot of cash. And I probably should have done that because there's a way to quickly, how do I word this? There's a way to unlock pickaxes a little bit faster. When you were trying to buy a brand new pickaxe, you're actually unable to sell your old pickaxe and have 0 pickaxes in your inventory. But there's a trick. You buy a super cheap pickaxe, and that will allow you to sell your good one to buy the better one even faster. So if you buy the mithril pickaxe and you want to try and get to the arcane faster, buy the mithril, mine a bunch of money, and when you get to that 80, 90, 100k range of money, go to World 1, grab a bronze pickaxe for like $100, right? And then you're able to sell your mithril, get back 30, 40, 50, I don't know how much it is, you can get back tens of thousands of coins to help you get to the arcane faster. So all in all, it's your decision what to do. Skip to the arcane or do mithril arcane, that's your choice to make. Now, you're in the game, you're a little bit deeper, you're making money, you're probably wondering, what do I do? How do I make good armor and good weapons? Well, I have a spreadsheet for you, link in the description down below. It'll help you greatly. This is the main page of the spreadsheet. As you can see, it shows you recipes for making all the best mid to late game and end game weapons. On the left here, you have katanas, straight swords, gauntlets, and colossal swords, as well as the materials you need for each of them, which are all these materials, and then the abilities of these weapons. Now over here on the right hand side, it shows you all the damage for the weapons. Take the time to peruse that spreadsheet. It'll help you greatly when deciding what to craft and what materials you need for what weapons. The spreadsheet is also awesome. At the bottom you see 3 tabs. Go ahead and click the armor crafting tab and it shows you all the materials you're going to need for different levels of armor. So you have your mid-game armor, which require these epic materials. You require these epic materials from the things like those basalt veins, the veins that require the mithril pickaxe, for example. Currently, I'm personally working on late-game armors. I have my chestplate and my helmet, or my chestplate and my leggings done. I'm working on my helmet. It has escaped me. It's frustrating. And then as soon as you jump to endgame, the amount of darklight and demonite you need climbs exponentially. These are really hard to make. One thing to keep in mind with the crafting system, the forging system, is that you're never guaranteed to craft exactly what you want. There's a % chance of failure. When you go to armor or weapons, doesn't matter, and you start shoving in metals, you see your chances change. 3 metals, 100% chance for a dagger, but then I can get my straight sword up to about a high of 86% with 6 ore. If I add another ore, it changes 74%. Another ore, all of a sudden I'm making gauntlets. And the gauntlets have a percentage, and then I'm making katanas, etc. So even if I want to spend 12 ore to craft a katana, I only have a 72% chance to do so. And this is the problem I've been having because 25 pieces of material gives me only a 50-50 shot for a heavy helmet. I have failed this 3 times in a row. When it comes to crafting armor, listen to me and listen to me carefully. The only armor you want to craft in this game is heavy armor. Right now, light armor and medium armor add no additional benefits and have less defenses and less stats than heavy armor. So only ever craft heavy armor in the game. When it comes to weapons, the best weapons to craft are katanas, straight swords, and colossal swords. But well, problem is sometimes you're going to fail and be stuck with gauntlets like I have gauntlets. And you can go back to the spreadsheet I have linked and switch to the basic information tab. As you can see, it shows you all the weapons in the game, everything to the left of this line. These are all the weapons you're capable of crafting. And then it shows you in this column right here, the true damage per second of these weapons. And it color codes them for red being atrocious and green being fantastic. You're going to notice a few things stand out. The straight swords trio of cutlass, rapier, and chaos. These stand out with having really good percentages. The katana is half decent. It's in the yellow. It is half decent. But the great swords also have fantastic DPS. And you may be thinking to yourself, but they swing so slow, but they hit like a truck, so the DPS is still pretty high. Having said that, the amount of materials you need to craft a great sword are insane. If I wanted to craft a straight sword, we talked about the straight swords being quite good, I can do so, if I switch to weapons, I can do so for only 6 or 7 different ore. That's very cheap. If I want to do a katana, you have to go up to about 12 ore to get a good chance at a katana. And then if you want to go to one of those massive swords, I use the term great sword, but they're colossal swords. In Dungeons and Dragons and fantasy terms, these colossal swords are all just different types of great swords. To get a colossal sword, you're talking about 30 to 40 ore to get a decent chance at a colossal sword. So personally, from now on, I'm rolling straight swords to try and get one of the better ones. Oh, and that's an important thing to talk about too. The straight swords have 4 different models: the falchion, the scimitar, the rapier, and the chaos sword. The falchion is horrible. The problem is it's the most common straight sword. These 3 are much better, going in order as the chaos sword being the best weapon in the game to craft. The problem is the scimitar is only a 1 in 2 chance to craft, the rapier a 1 in 4, and the chaos a 1 in 16. So you could be like me, spend all your end game materials. I spent 3 dark right ore. You can spend all your end game materials to craft a straight sword and get a falchion, which sucks, and you cry. Yes, that's what end game crafting is. End game crafting is doing your best and praying to the gods of RNG that you randomly get lucky and get what you want. Now, I've showed you this spreadsheet. It's fantastic and it's very useful. There is also a Wikipedia that was linked from the official Discord server filled with all sorts of information on the things you want to know about. And obviously you have the official Discord server, which you can find on the regular webpage, the Roblox page for the Forge, by scrolling down and going to join our Discord community. Now, here's a couple tips when it comes to spending Robux on this game. First things first, do not spend your Robux on gold. As you can see, I'm sitting on hundreds of thousands of gold with very little to spend it on. You don't need gold. Eventually, you won't need this. This is a horrible way to spend Robux. Race rerolls are a thing you can spend Robux on, but if you're starting off a fresh account, I told you early in this video about using alt accounts to get you a demon or an angel. I would do that unless you're already too deep in the game. Totems don't seem worth it to me. They only last for 5 minutes. If they lasted longer, maybe, but in the end game, but at only 5 minutes, I don't have a use for these. Now, the game passes are all pretty good and fairly useful. Fast Forge is a time saver. It skips the pumping up the fire minigame and the pouring of the liquid minigame and just goes straight to the hammering portion. So it does save you a lot of time. Sell Anywhere is convenient when you're mob grinding and you don't want to go back to town to sell everything you have in your inventory. It just saves you a bit of time. Supporter is great. 10% more XP and 10% luck. Fantastic. Better Forge means you craft things better and make more money, but ultimately mob grinding is the best moneymaker in this game. So Better Forge might be a little bit overrated. Double storage is goated. I love the fact that I can run even longer and grind even longer without having to stop. I love double storage. Now we're going to quickly talk about runes in this game. We're getting into more end gamey kind of stuff. Go to the rune guy. You're going to find runes by killing mobs, killing all kinds of mobs in the game. The Wikipedia will tell you which mobs drop what runes. Also, the index can tell you which of these mobs drop which runes. For example, these death axes drop the flame spark and the briar notch, etc. Which reminds me, if you haven't looked at your index, the first time you find something in the game, you will have a new discovery. You'll unlock it in your index, and when you tap it, you will actually get money and experience. So make sure you click everything in your index when you discover them to get a whole boatload of EXP. Runes are great in this game. You definitely want them. Runes, I would suggest, the main tip. Here's the main tip when it comes to runes. The secondary stats really matter. Let's come over here and take a look, for example. Right now, I've got 2 runes on my weapon. Both are Drain Edge, but notice that they have secondary stats. This is something you may not actually know. Many of the runes you're going to find only have the primary stat, but occasionally they will have a secondary stat, and these secondary stats can be critical. This secondary stat gives me bonus to physical damage. This one gives me bonus to critical hit chance. This one gives me bonus attack speed. As you can see, these secondary stats are very strong. So when you're figuring out what runes to keep, what runes to sell, because yes, you can sell them and get rid of them, keep the ones that have fantastic secondary stats. And also, the runes have different primary stats. For example, this Minor Shard only has 5% overall luck. That's horrible. This Drain Edge has an 8% lifesteal. This Drain Edge has a 9% lifesteal, and the ones in my weapon are sitting at like 11, 12, 13% lifesteal. So not only are you considering the secondary stats, you're also considering how strong the primary stat is when deciding which runes to use and which runes to get rid of. Now, how do you get rune slots in your armor? It's easy. Come over here to the enhancer and start enhancing your stuff. The materials for enhancing come from killing enemies. So kill enemies to get the materials you need to do your enhancing. My beginner tip to enhancing is to take any weapon or armor and level it up to level +3. As you can see, my Iron Hand down here is +6, but at the very least get it up to +3. Up to +3, there's no chance at failure and it's very cheap, and the materials are also very cheap, and it will unlock 1 rune slot on every piece of your armor. After that, in the mid to late game, you want to get your things up to level 6 because that unlocks a 2nd rune slot in all of your weapons and armor. The only problem is after level 3, there's a % chance of failure and you can go back down. So what happens is you keep clicking it over and over. You go up, you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, you go down, you go up, you go up, back and forth endlessly until finally you get to level 6. Getting to level 6 is a 45% chance of success, so it will happen eventually. After level 6, I'm not personally bothering with anything past that until like super end game. I personally don't see any use for that. I'm able to kill everything in the end game without going past level 6, no problem. Other quick tips, potions are super cheap and super useful, especially the luck potion and the mining potion. They last for 5 minutes each, and you can stack them 3 times, so you can have potions last for 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, use your potions, just makes life easier. And I've talked a long time, and that was a lot of useful information. Hopefully it was useful to you. Hopefully it was valuable. If it was, go ahead and hit subscribe, become part of the first 300k OGs on the channel. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.